loss of signal. This is some crazy shit. How do you like my new hat? You know, technology is interesting because it seems to have more control than we do. There's a we do for you. So anyway, I'm going to continue my story. This is goofy shit, okay? So anyway, Nancy gets carted off to the hospital. Okay, so this is what happens. She ends up in ICU. Apparently a pneumonia or some shit. I don't know because it was being filtered. The following morning, I got up. I washed all her bedding. I cleaned the house. I did the dishes, cleaned the kitchen, trimmed the house up, fed the dog. And then I was greeted by son-in-law and his father to be informed that I am to leave immediately. And they're there to watch me pack and escort me out. Just like that. I thought, really? Ha! Why didn't you hear from Nancy? Why didn't Nancy tell me this? Well, then Nancy did call. But I do note, Nancy was in the ICU under sedation in an allopathic environment. She no longer was in her own world. She is in that other world. So, oh, Anthony? Yeah, well, these are cartoons, and I'm getting to a point. Thank you for noting that. I'm telling you, because this is where everything went sideways, and this is really what I want to talk about. How things go sideways. Things go sideways, and this is our journey. This is our road. This is how we learn. Now, sideways could be a detour. It could be a bridge out. It could be curves. I keep losing signal. Maybe that's the universe talking again. Anyway, I want to teach experience here. That's why I tell people my business, because I believe, truly, honestly, everybody has to go through stuff. Their own stuff, their own shit. It appears. This happens to everyone. And I'm no different. I don't claim to be anything. I'm just a human being. I'm not a label. I'm not any of these things. I'm just a process in process always. And I learn to live with that every day. Doesn't matter how goofy it gets, because it does get goofy. Life gets goofy. And you don't know how it's going to appear anytime, anywhere, for any reason. And this is the point. I've been writing again lately. I've actually written 6 poems over the last few days. Now, I hadn't written a poem for over 2 months. I had a lot of learning to do. I had a lot of soul searching to do. I had a lot of processing to process. And I have. Life is nothing but cartoons. It's all cartoons. It is. And I'm a cartoon, so I accept that. You know, let the P be with you. Huh. So, I'm going to share some poems, okay? I'm going to share some poems. This one I wrote this very morning. Because I find that writing helps me summarize my thoughts and ideas. I don't know if they'll make sense to you. Perhaps you can relate. I wrote this one an hour ago. It's called Thought Control. Sabotage appears somehow. We make plans and they change. Our universe has rearranged. Do we freak? Do we freeze? If we please. Thought control as we choose determines outcome, win or lose. Does it matter? Well, consider this. When choosing drama over bliss, thought control is a choice of who controls our inner voice. Own your thoughts. Pay the bill. If we don't do it, someone will. Just like that. Now, again, why I tell these stories? I tell these stories because I think they're valuable for other people to realize that we're all in this together. No one gets freed from this. And the crazier you are, the more people think that you're a nutcase because of whatever label you choose. I don't care what label you choose. Labels are labels. I'm a vegan. I'm a fruitarian. I'm a breatharian. I'm a numerologist. I'm an astrologist. I'm a tarot reader. I'm a numerologist. I'm a psychic reader. I'm a Christian. I'm a Muslim. I'm a Jew. What difference does it make? They're labels, and they limit us completely. They shove us in a corner and put us in a box. And most people will do the fight or flight. They'll punch their way out of that bag when they're pushed into a corner. But we have a tendency to surrender ourselves, our true inner core, our real self, to allow somebody else to determine and dictate the outcome of our experience. Now, why is that? How does that occur? Why does that occur? Something happened along the way. Something happened. What happened to you? It's all stories. We all have them. My friend Jeff thinks it's from utero, in the womb. Others think it's from childhood. Might be tweens, might be teens. But I trust that most people are walking around hiding out in some wounded way. And they are to determine their outlook, allowing others to suggest and reason away their experience. And I don't care if you drink pee. I don't care if you're vegan. I don't care what you do. You have to recognize that your labels, you choose the label, you own it. So, I choose human being. That's who I choose. I choose human being. Because everything else is conjecture. It's contrived. It's compressed. It gets all goofy. And then we start to doubt ourselves of our true greatness, of who we're really being. Think about it. You know, who are you today? What are you doing? Ha ha ha. I'm doing the best I know how to choose to be happy. I needed a break. I took a break. I celebrated. I spent time with my brother. I spent time with a lot of people. I spent over, 3,000 miles plus over the last several weeks, visiting people state by state. And this is what I've discovered. That are people. People are people. No matter what, people are people. Doesn't matter what they choose. Doesn't matter how they label. People are people wherever you go. And I actually wrote a poem about that. Can you imagine? I wrote so many poems, and I haven't been writing, so this is all, I took time to take time. I've been like really taking time to take some time. Shit's been pretty interesting. Here's one. Nothing knowing. Nothing knowing. Energy, frequency, and vibration. Finding Om in resonation. Peace of mind in this spot. Breathing, allowing any thought. No agenda, simply being. Nothing doing. It's very freeing. Now is grand. It's a steady flow. Knowing nothing. Let it go. What we think is what we are. Imagination superstar. Says it all. Imagine that. Heed the call. As a being, I rest in peace, knowing nothing. Soul at ease. Like that. So I keep losing signal. I don't know how much of this keeps staying in, but I'm holding out. You know, my phone will just keep telling me, lost signal. It's all good. I haven't lost any signal at all. And I thank you all for joining me today. I appreciate it. I do. I love you dearly. We're all here together. We're all learning things. This is a process. It's called life. Nobody ever said it was going to be easy. It's pretty simple at times, but not easy. You're going to have to deal with the process of the process. That is our assignment as human beings. So, I'm going to share another poem. Why? Because I can. I love that part. Okay, so this one, like my PCAP. I just got it yesterday. Bought a gift for myself. My PCAP. This is called Write Your Story. Are you a cartoon in despair? Lost in space? Raw and bare? Why is that? Do you know? While you're playing the lead in your show? Brilliant scripting by popular poll. Brava ovation. This is as goofy as it gets. I love... I got so many stories right now that it's just nuts, okay? So I'll finish this poem. Drama is showing, take a bow. Script recycled. Familiar somehow. Will this change? Is it tested? Read the meter as requested. Same tired role. Or something new. You're the star. It's up to you. Write your story. Do your dance. It's our perspective of circumstance. Hey, Christina. How's that bicycle working out? Yeah, man. Okay, I'm going to do another one here, too, because this is a subject I brought up. It's called, Are You a Label? Now, this is important, okay, because we get too caught up in our labels. And by setting ourselves up with a label and a banner, putting ourselves on the street corner, waving that freak flag high, all we are is targets for other people's opinions. And if we don't have a thick skin and a strong enough soul in order to embody all of that identity, we're going to get gooned. self-sabotaged. It happens frequently. So consider your labeling. Consider it wisely. This is, are you a label? Are you a label? Is it true? An ego endorsement that is skewed? Does your id fit in a box, defining you with chains and locks? What does it matter? What does it mean? Are you superior as a being? Every label we attach limits potential, our ego snatched. Plaques and trophies, our resume, historic memories in decay. Who are you being in the now? A shiny label on your brow? Labels limit. Consider this as human beings seeking bliss. Just something to consider. Now, how many more stories do I have on cartoons? Man, there's so many, it's just hard to keep up with. But I'm telling you, I'm learning a lot in my adventure. Now let's talk about social media. This is a really important idea. Okay, now I'm relatively new to social media over, the last few years. Now initially, I started out, maybe 5 years ago. And it was like a social experiment. I started gathering friends, lots of friends, vegans and rescuers and dog rescuers and just masses. I actually had 2 pages. I built them out to where I couldn't take any more friends, 5,000 each. This didn't take long. This was over the course of a few months. And what I recognized, it was very indulgent. It was label-oriented and limited at best because everybody was embattling each other. I couldn't believe how many people hated humans because they ate meat, because they, treated their dog badly. Hey, look, humans are humans, and, we have to encourage the idea that everybody has a process they are going through. And the more angst and anger and pain and deep-rooted shit that people have, the more they will act out, generally speaking. And unless we can embrace that, understand it, and appreciate what they're going through, we're just another person standing in judgment. Now, tell me about how you have been judged by your choices, by your labels, by your circumstance, family, ministers, associates, peers. How many people have judged you? Now, I'll tell you what. One thing I do know, I'm a fucking weirdo. I'm as weird as they get. I accept that responsibility absolutely unconditionally. I make no apologies about that. I am here, and I cannot be more honest about who I am being. So back to the social experiment on social media. I got to the point where I couldn't seem to appreciate how much information was flowing through social media. People hiding out. People bamming other people, just slamming them right and left. I decided I couldn't hang. So I went to excuse myself. Now, just to remove a Facebook page, which I had posted a lot, had 5,000 friends, you can't just hit click, delete all. You got to go one by one. It took me days to remove people, to remove posts, get it down to nothing, and make the page go away. Now, I didn't reappear. I did that on one page, and I took the other one from 5,000 to 300, and then I let it ride. And then I reappeared. Still feeling like a stranger. No real friends. I mean, people I knew. And isn't that pretty? A selfie of my food, where I am, who I'm with, all those things. But I'll guarantee you something that I have learned. Now, I don't know how many people have been doing what I do or have done and am continuing to do, which is to interface with people live, not just on a video chat, not just on a phone call, actually going out and meeting people on their turf to see how people live. Now, I'll guarantee you something I've learned. There's a lot of freaks out there. A lot of oddballs. A lot of weirdos. Lots. And I celebrate them. I do. I embrace them. Because people are hiding out. People are hiding out in a big way. Social media seems to give us some kind of privilege of masquerading, the things that we don't want to reveal. As Anthony said, why am I putting my business out there? That's a good question. Why? Because I don't think I'm alone. I think all of us are in this together. And the freakier you are, the higher risk you may have. And if you're hiding out from everyone because you can't, and it's not just about whether you drink pee, it's other thoughts. It's your inner core. It's your ambition, your spiritual life. Your passions. Can you be honest? Can you be authentic? Can you trust and allow your experience to be on the table with no fear of your head going into the chopping block? Something to ponder. This is up to everyone. And I'll guarantee you, if you're a freak and you know it, celebrate it. Celebrate that shit. Because when you look at the option, that shit's scary to me. Planned, programmed, normal, acceptable. Don't want to rock the boat. Don't want to make any waves. Oh, what would my sister think of me now? What would my mother say? These are always considerations we have to measure of who we are being. Cartoons, man. I'm telling you. It's all cartoons. I don't care if you're on social media or not. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of cartoons out there. And there is a lot of people celebrating on one end and a lot of people struggling and suffering on the other. Where do you fit in? There's some ancient Native American wisdom, and I'll paraphrase it. But there's a mighty river running, and it's running very fast. And there are some that will choose to cling to the shore, and they'll be sadly mistaken as they'll be ripped to pieces. Others will jump in the middle, in the flow, to find out who is there and celebrate. There's something to consider. Life is an interesting ride. It's a real interesting ride. Can be bumpy at times. it can be smooth sailing. And all that really ever matters is how you perceive it. What you consider to be your authentic truth. Your truth. No one else's truth, just your truth. If you can live in your truth, I think you're heading in the right direction. That's the way I view it. And yeah, I lay a lot of shit on the table. Some people think that is inappropriate, but I really want to illustrate that we're not alone. That we're all swimming in some shit. Everybody, as it appears. And it's all simply about how we deal with it. That's all that really matters. So, me, I just keep swimming along. Doing the pee. It just works for me. Keeps me balanced, pain-free. I wake up every morning, drink my pee. I start over. It works. So, we all have to do our own math. We all have to figure it out for ourselves. And me, I choose to love everyone unconditionally, as an understanding that I unconditionally love myself. I don't give a shit how freaky anybody is. I don't have to like it in order to love it. Not required. So, I don't know if any of this makes any sense to anybody. I'm just sharing some stories. I'm just revealing some experience. That's all. I hope you all have a beautiful, wonderful, marvelous day. Because there is beauty, there is wonder, and there is marvel. Seek, you shall find. So, peace out. Keep your peace together. And boom. You just been loved. Happy Saturday. Ha ha ha. Love you.